You and your baby daddy.
So we're back to our show. So in this whole marriage scheme of things, right? So you can see like different cultures do it different ways. But we was talking about the wealth, and we're just trying to find out where that wealth circulating to, whether is that the real decision or whether you married somebody. Because I think today's society's marriage is all based upon materialism.
I don't even know if that's the truth, because I feel like a lot of people, especially young people, that's not even... Wealth right now for them is not about wealth, right? Now, I feel like part of their mindset is back 1950s, and then the other part of their mindset is very modern, right? So I think it's more about family for them. However, it needs to have wealth built into it, because if they don't, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer. And I feel like people, especially... And I hate to say this, but I find that a lot of the guys, the young men that I listen to and talk to, they're more on the wealth thing. Like, they got to have this. It's got to be a certain kind of way. It's this. And I need to have this. And the girls are like, you don't need to have all that. Let's just get it together. And they're not like that. I need to have this kind of money. I need to drive this kind of car. I need to have this in the bank. I need to have this type of career. And I say that because I know some personal young men in their 20s, late 20s, almost 30s. And this is what they say. I need to have all these things in place before I commit to somebody. Yeah, now that could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing, or it could be an excuse.
Right, but you know, it's just like in my era, because they skipped my era coming up was like, you know, we build together. Right. Like whatever we bring together, it helps us grow and build. And I just think, you know, in today's world, when we look at marriage, it's basically kind of one-sided.
But it's the young ladies who want to build together. It's the fellas who saying, I'm not ready to build yet because I'm not where I'm supposed to be financially. And I hear that a lot.
And I think that, like you say, I think that's the
excuse.
It's a cop-out.
Well, what about Love is Blind? That guy who just...
Oh, God. AD and what's his name?
Clay wasn't ready from the get-go. Like,
he had trauma.
He should have never gone there. And his mom said it. Like, his dad was the cause of a lot of his trauma. He knew he had trauma, but he should have never been on that show. I love that show. I watched all episodes. I can't wait for the reunion.
You know, you just brought up a good analogy. When it comes to marriage, a lot of people bring a lot of trauma to marriage.
They do.
You know, I think that, you know, for me, somebody said this to me years and years ago. I think that if you want to know what a good quality marriage is, you have to hang around people that have a good quality marriage. I think that, you know, because you have certain amount of friends or they married and this, but you don't know, once that door closed, you don't really know what kind of marriage they have. Mm-hmm. Because I know we've been places, and Dorshell can say that, we've been places where we've been out invited to parties and stuff. And people, if we're doing karaoke, they want to put on a song, sing to their wife, and she the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm like, okay, really?
Because you know the truth.
Yeah, I know the truth.
But you know something else too, right? I think about this, right? I feel like if you're not married but you're thinking about getting married or you're engaged, I feel like you should spend a year, the two of you, in couples therapy. One solid year, not 6 weeks with the pastor, you know, not going to, you know, the social. 1 year with a licensed therapist who is focused on nothing but relationship and marriage. And the reason I say that is because when you're one-on-one, there are certain things that you just cannot say, because if I say this, you know, it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. I'm going to ruffle some feathers. If I say this, you know, he may run away. If I say this, she may be upset. But forget that. They may run away. They may get upset, but you may need them to run away, and you may need them to get upset. It needs to come out in the wash before you say I do. That's my opinion. I feel like when I got married, got married, we went to therapy 2 times with the pastor. One time, me, him, the best man, and the maid of honor. Right? And then one time, just me and him. And I'm going to be honest, the thing that stuck out of my head, he's like, so this is the pastor. How often do you think you want to have sex? That's the most important thing you can ask me.
I was getting ready to bring up that analogy. And you can step in on this, Miss Hagler, because we know that could you or could you not marry somebody without having sex with them first?
No.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Hagler, explain why. Your mama said no. You said yes.
No.
Okay,
it's like a car. I need to test drive it first. I'm not wasting. First of all, I'm young, and I just feel like I'm not. No, if I no.
Even Lamborghinis have a recall.
But
I mean, that's you can have a recall, but do you drive good? When I put it in gear, are you gonna drive good? That's what I need.
See, I feel like
I want you to be a little more elaborate on why you wouldn't.
Because for me, and maybe I sound mannish when I say this, but sex is a big part of my relationship, and if it's trash, it's certain things that I can teach you. It's certain things that I cannot, and I'm not gonna wait to find out afterwards. I'm sorry.
Now let me say something to that part, right? So when it comes to the sexual act, there are things you can definitely teach. When it comes to a person being affectionate, emotionally connected, that has nothing to do with sex.
But I'm not talking about that, though.
But I'm saying the act
but
itself.
You've always said you okay if a joker don't hug you. You all right with that?
Right.
She said that.
So that goes to that person, because I feel like you can teach a person that's willing to learn how to please you. That's what we listen. At the end of the day, if you marry somebody who's inexperienced but you love them, you are willing to say, "Listen, this is what I like." And let me show you.
Okay, I agree with that.
But most women struggle with the 2-minute man.
Well, let me explain it. I give you.
Then you gonna have to add some other minutes somewhere else.
Well, I give you something. Okay.
That's simple.
In Islam,
you ain't swinging with 2 minutes.
But Miss Audrey, listen.
Something else got to come in.
In Islam, we were the first ones that women were able to proclaim divorce and keep their wealth, and that's one of the reasons. If he come in the skin game and he's impotent, and or her right is to have children, and he's not good in bed, she can proclaim divorce.
Man now. No.
But you don't know. You don't know.
Well, I mean, just like in
That's
Christianity,
unfair.
in the word it says,
He can pop
the
pills
only
out
way
before
of
marriage.
the only way of divorce is through you catching your mate fornicating.
Say again.
The only way that you in Christianity can supposedly get a divorce if your mate is being creating fornication.
So that's what. So in the British Crown, the FUC word was FUKC. So this is how the colonizers switched it. It was FUCK. Excuse me, but now it was FUKC. Fornication under knowledge of the king. FUKC. Right? Because of the fact fornication under carnal knowledge. Excuse me. I apologize. Because you already had this. So fornication under carnal knowledge is you already acquainted with that person. So the instance of fact, you say nay, she says say, right? But the intimacy is connected, because in Islam, we say this. Most people don't know this outside of Islam, even a lot of Muslims. This religion is about the affairs of the heart. That big thing on your shirt. When you take all of that out, there goes the trust. There goes the respect. I don't care how good you can throw that thing up in there and turn the sunshine. But if you don't respect me, there's no trust. What am I going to spend? I ain't doing all that. And you won't even come home. I'm sitting at the end of the bar and I'm drinking. Then on top of that, I'm with the fellas. How come you ain't home yet? I had all these problems in my marriage at very young. But the worst thing is, we worked it out. We still talk to this day.
I told all my exes.
Yes, no. No, we were inadvertently split because she was wealthy. They didn't think I could support her. When I went through something like her father wasn't wealthy. It was the maternal side. So when they went through something, they snatched her up, right? You know, and I was nothing I could do about it because I was in New Jersey, right? I was in Monmouth County, right? And when they snatched her up, the apartment, and she revealed to me later, it was not a marriage, right? It was an annulment. I wanted to slap her the same way that Michael Corleone did in Godfather. An abortion and an annulment is the same thing to me. You just cut off my whole line.
Well, let me say this too.
They pay for that.
Let me say this. When it goes back to marriage, Christianity, and all these different religions are man-made things, right? They're man-made. There is no, and if people go back and really dig into the history, they'll see that religion was constructed by the Romans, by the Vatican, to control people. That's just a fact. But a lot of people, if I said that out loud on a lot of occasions, oh my God, I probably get rotten eggs thrown at me, because people don't want to believe that. But when you go back and start doing like real history research, you'll see that all of that stuff is man-made. It's all made up. Now, what you choose to do with that is really up to you. But I feel like if you're going to commit your life to somebody, you need to spend some time really getting to know that person.
Test drive the car.
Listen, you can test. I'm not saying don't. Lamar asked the
a lot of
question:
these booger wolves out here that
can you marry somebody without test driving a car? And my question is, if that person is affectionate, and this is an individual thing. If that person is affectionate and loving and caring, and he has the capabilities, yeah, right. Now if he said, "Hey, Audrey, I love you, but it's gonna be limp forever," we got a problem. That's gonna be a problem.
I'm asking my daughter what happened. See you, baby.
That's gonna be a problem.
But if you really love that person,
no.
and you love them for they in turn,
not forever though, Lamar.
Well, I mean, I'm just being devil advocate here because there's people out there that probably deal with that. So let me ask you this then. If you love that person and they was limp the rest of their life,
after the fact,
would you? Well, what about, let's reverse this. The woman is dry all her life. Would you allow that man to
That's why they got KY everything.
Right. But, I mean, would it be okay?
I don't know.
If I married somebody and everything was working fine when we got married, something happened, now he's limp for the rest of his life. I'm right by his side for the rest of his life. But we ain't going to go in that way.
What about you, Dominique?
We can't go in that way.
You taking your Porsche back to the lot? You taking it to the shop and just leaving it there?
Okay, we talking about no. There's a religion and then there's psychology. Y'all say this about religion just in the third because what we're going to do now is if we talk about religion, talking about psychology. What you're talking about is something that's alien to me also. That so-called Sigmund Freudian penis envy is all about the penis. It's what it's all about, and the penis equates money. Freudian. So you saying about religion? Sigmund Freud was way after the Romans. So if it's all about the equipment, what about and all the external stimulants and pharmaceuticals? You still skipping over the person, right?
Well, I guess here's the thing though.
To my little mother.
Oh my God! See, for me, like when you got religion and you got relationships.
No, psychology. I said religion. Psychology. I don't do the Freudian thing. It's all about the penis.
I don't know about Freud. I don't know about what Freud did and all that. So I just know. I don't.
He's
I don't know about
the
equipment.
Sigmund Freud. You don't know what it is.
Sigmund Freud. I don't know about what Sigmund Freud did. What I do know is, why did you get married? Why should you get married? And why you didn't get married? You need to start working on that stuff right now. That's what I do know. Right. Marriages that have lasted 50 years, like you say your parents did, that is a long time.
So let me ask you this. What is a good age to get married?
Whatever age you're ready.
So you think 19 is good?
If you're ready at 19 and it's legal, I'm not saying I don't want you to go out there and commit statutory nothing. If you feel like at 19 you're mature enough to be married,
right?
And for me, still, you need to go because you don't know who the heck you are. You need to go to counseling, you and that person. And then if you feel like at the end of that counseling after 1 year, I'm good, I'm ready. Because there's some really mature young folks out there.
Right. So I got another question to throw into the equation, right? What do you think is a realistic age gap between marriage? So could you?
I love it.
Because
are you talking May December here?
Because when you look at it in other cultures, if a person is 50 and this person is, let's say the age is 18, 16, whatever, and that 50-year-old want to marry that.
That's statutory rape in the United States.
But I'm saying, but other religions. So I'm just saying, how do we embrace?
First of all,
or what is a good age gap? I mean, like the Muslim, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I heard Louis Farrakhan say this: which in order to marry the right woman, you take your age and split it in half and add 7.
Untrue. First of all,
that's why I heard Louis Farrakhan.
Okay, so let's get correct. What if the 19-year-old wants to marry the 50-year-old? You cool with it? Yes. I'm going through that right now.
Oh,
yeah,
a
he's
19-year-old
orphan. There's no parents.
See, here's my thing, right?
So why we on ageism? That's ageism.
It is ageism, but here's my thing. If there is and a lot of times, a lot of times it's the man that's a lot older than the female, right? You're not marrying a grown woman, right? At 16, you're marrying a child.
I'm with you on that.
Let's be straight about that. That's statutory rape, so that's a no for me. I don't care what culture it is, that's a no for me. When you turn 18 and 19, you're still very young and don't know what you're doing. Now, if you feel like you're super mature and you can go out there and get married at 18, 19, go ahead and do it. But do you think as a 50-year-old man, you're marrying a grown woman?
Okay, so let me
what's
let
your
me ask you this.
expectation of an 18-year-old who still chew bubble gum? What's the expectation?
Let me say this. Okay. Let's use your child. What's your age, Dominique?
32.
32. Dominique decides she comes home with a 67-year-old man. Mm-hmm. Is that cool?
Well, it's good if she happy. Now,
but that's okay though.
But listen,
because she's 32.
If she's happy, that's on her. Would I say do that? No, I won't, because you're 32, he's 67, and at some point he's gonna be 68 and you're gonna be 34.
Yeah,
now I've known people. I used to work with this woman. Her husband was 15 years her senior, and she told me that was the worst decision of her life.
Why?
Because by the time he was 65, she was just turning 50, and she wanted to live.
But what if you got Action Jackson that's at 67?
But he wasn't Action Jackson.
But that might be an exception to the rule.
It may be, but he wasn't. So, and that's a risk you run, because she was 50, he was 65, he was having dementia, and she was like, that's the worst decision I've ever made in my life, because we're so far apart, and he was set in his own ways. He had things that he wanted to be doing a certain way. So that was a problem, but here's the problem with that. When she was 30 and he was, 45, he was buying her, he was giving her, she was living her life.
They was together that long?
Okay. Yeah, they was there for a long time, so he was doing she was a dancer, he was a mafia. So she lived that life, right? Not thinking at some point he's going to be 65 and I'm going to be 50. He wasn't thinking like, I know another person that's married to an older guy right now, and same thing. It's the worst decision of my life, because I'm still trying to live and he's pretty settled down and don't want to do anything. So for me, that's something that person has to say to themselves, I'm okay with that because I love him, and I know at some point the age is going to make a difference. It doesn't make a difference now because he's very outgoing, he's very youthful, but at some point that's going to change. And it may never change, but it could change. So
that comes in your counseling, like when you doing this upfront counseling and getting married.
I would say that.
Do you realize this guy is 15 years older than you?
I would say that person needs to come. That person needs to have they need to go to counseling right now by themselves. Like, are you okay with that before you bring that person into? Because if I'm 33 and the person I'm trying to get into it with is 50, right? Before I let this person fall in love with me at 50 years old, I need to make sure that before we even get that close, I need to make sure I'm okay with that.
But what you mean, let this 50-year-old person fall in love with you? You can clarify that one.
Because I don't want nobody.
This is the more mature person.
But listen. That's
fall.
I think
that's
age
not my point.
has nothing to do with it.
But listen, if we're going out, we're doing things,
and I'm paying for it.
No, wait a minute. Wait, listen to what I'm telling you. I'm protecting you on this side.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm protecting you because I'm going out. I'm enjoying the company. I'm enjoying all the lavishness. I'm enjoying this whole thing. I'm enjoying these things, right? Right? Because that's what my friend did. She enjoyed all this stuff. She wasn't paying attention to that part. And then later on, it became the worst decision of her life. So what I'm saying,
whose fault is that?
Her life.
It's her fault.
Not their life.
It's her fault because she should have said, I need to make sure that in 10 years, when we're 10 years older, because we're both going to get 10 years older, prayerfully. Got it?
Yeah, she can do it.
We're both going to get 10 years older. What I'm saying is, don't leave somebody on thinking that this is what we're going to do.
I think people don't think that far.
But they should.
They don't.
That's my point.
And I want to engage Miss Dominique here because we got to get on this Porsche thing. This driving, this stick that you're going to let somebody go. I mean, I just want you to clarify that. I mean, because you just said, hey, if they can't get it in,
if he can't
then
start the whip,
I'm out. I really want you to clarify that so our audience really understands, because there's somebody out
like
there.
For me to clarify on that?
Start the whip.
I mean,
vroom vroom.
I mean,
So let's use your mother analogy.
Okay.
They do all this thing and they satisfy you intimately and sexually, and then all of a sudden the clutch pop sticks don't work. Then what?
Gotta give me a girlfriend. No.
You got one. But you got one at that point. The stick broke.
Yeah. Clutch gone, transmission gone, got put them in there. So
you got one at that point.
So I mean,
closed casket.
Do you totally engage yourself?
We're gonna have to figure something out, because if I'm really in love, and it takes me a while, but if I've gotten to that point, then we gonna figure it out. And if we can't figure it out, I'm gonna come up with some other options for us.
But see, that's people that's really in love, right?
Exactly.
Because things happen. Like, you may be married to somebody. Now, let's flip it around.
Yeah,
let's flip it.
Let's just do it.
You marry her. She's fine. And something happens. She ain't fine. I met this guy. He showed me a picture of his wife. His wife was gorgeous, right? But then she got sick. She lost whatever medication she lost all her teeth. She lost all her hair. And he was like,
well, you know, a woman without teeth.
That guy got 3
But do you stay?
Yeah, he definitely staying now.
But do you stay?
Really? I ain't gonna know. It's about to come.
Oh my God.
Your nickname is Gumby.
Give me some. You feel it better today, right? The energy
You saying all that junk? Do you take it out? Do you take it out in public?
If she can take out her dentures, I can take her out.
No dentures.
Especially if she Islam, you can wrap her up to the eyes.
She don't have no dentures. She don't want to wear her dentures. She wants the world to see her. Her pain, her anguish. She wants you to love her the same. Do you love her the same?
Yeah, you love her the same.
Love her more.
Don't fall like that.
I think it goes.
She do this. You know.
But I think it's just like you just said. If I married this person and we have spent time together, whatever amount of years or whatever,
y'all still hitting?
I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you hitting though.
Yeah, I mean, if she allows you to hit, it might not be as romantic, but she allows you to hit. You hit it and keep moving.
Them honey packs right there. Because I would be 80. I would be 80 years old.
I'm giving you. Because
we rubbing something.
I think that women look at it. I think that women look at it differently than men. You know what I mean? Because people, we laughing.
Do you still kiss?
But we laughing. But I'm telling you, if a joke,
exactly. That's what I just said. We missing that. What about if he marries an older woman?
So I watched this show called The Prophet. You ever watch that show, The Prophet? So The Prophet, he was 44 years old. He married his wife. She was 66.
You know where they get that from, right?
I don't.
So Prophet Muhammad, when in the holy city of Mecca, before Islam and like Ramadan, before the Quran came down, right? And he was already married to a wealthy woman, Khadijah. That's a popular name. So Khadijah came. I know her whole tribe. She came. She was 40 at the time. He was 25. This is before prophethood started. When he became prophet at 40, whatever, and think about the 15 years apart. So he's 40 now. She's 55. She didn't. So all of his children except for one was by this one person. So, and this is before they did it, but you got to stand like in the context of what we follow in Islam. We don't practice ageism. She was wealthy. Prophet Muhammad had nothing.
You know what? Let me say this right quick.
Go ahead.
Because I hear him speak on women in this wealth. And in my mind, I'm sitting here and saying, well, you know how men, we sit back and talk about how materialistic women in, all they want me for my money and this and that and the other, right? Well, if they got all the wealth, where did this table turn at? Where did this table turn? Because in the text, in what he explains it, you can't be mad at them for wanting money because they want more wealth.
Well, it may not have turned. It may be just the way it is in different cultures, right? Because in American culture, back in the day, the man was a breadwinner. He made sure the family was stable and secure. The wife stayed home. She raised the kids. That was our culture. That's how we were all brought up, right? So even when you look at like past history, if you go back to Africa, back then, I remember the when Liberia was going through their Revolutionary War, right? There's a documentary out about when they was going through the war. They went through this war, and they was like, they were tired of, was it Liberia or was it Rwanda? Whichever one it was a war. And it had been going on for like 14 years. And they was like, the women had the power, so the women said, if y'all don't stop fighting, we're going to take off all our clothes. Ended the war after 14 years. So they had power. I think when you look at the cultures and where you grew up at and, you know, the countries and things like that, all these cultures are different. So just to your point, you said ageism is not a thing. It shouldn't be a thing most of the time, right? But it's a thing. Now, culturally, in our culture, you don't marry a 16-year-old. Right? In Africa, in other countries, you marry a 12-year-old. I saw this one lady, she had 44 kids, right? I was like, how is that possible?
She had 44?
44 kids, one man. Because she got married at 12, and she had so many sets of twins. And then he left her.
So let me ask you this.
Well, he going to go, everybody in the village is related to you.
Let me tell you
something. 44.
In the midst of marriage, because when you look at other cultures, do you think that planned marriage or, you know, like marriages where they set back
arranged marriages.
Do you think that's any better of a marriage than you meeting somebody?
I think that's probably a miserable marriage.
Totally disagree.
And I think the Love is bad too.
I asked him.
I don't think Love is Blind is bad because you get married behind a wall, and the premise of that is you don't need to see me. You need to learn who I am and get to know the mind, get to know my heart.
When you see that person,
but you're supposed to fall in love with their mind and heart. With an arranged marriage, you don't even have an opportunity.
Or their Porsche.
Like, you don't even have an opportunity. And I'll give you a prime example. I watched Love is Blind, right? So the girl got on there. The guy it was two girls, right? You're not supposed to talk about where you look, right? She gets on there and she gets exactly what she deserved because she shouldn't have did this. She gets on there and she goes, because they say I look like Megan Fox. So he was torn between two women, right? And he ended up like, Megan Fox. Like he's doing this like, oh my God, Megan Fox. When he saw her,
she didn't look nothing like Megan Fox.
She lied. But she lied. But she wasn't supposed to do that. And the girl that actually kind of did favor Megan Fox, he didn't choose her. And she said to him, you gonna wish you had chose me. And he was like, why she say that? Because she was really pretty. The other girl wasn't bad looking, but she didn't look like Megan Fox.
She had a big head. She was not cute.
So I feel like when you talk about arranged marriage, they don't have no say so. At least behind the wall, you at least get to talk to the person, find out what they like, what's their favorite color. They have no say so. It's like we picked them out. You can see them, but that's all you can do.
Okay, the best example, right? Because y'all going about this all the wrong way. Let's use The Godfather. What did they do in The Godfather when he was marrying Apollonia? They had a chaperone. They went out and the family was following. They seen him. Now the other part was she was a virgin. She don't know nothing. He from Brooklyn. He Italiano. He been in the army. What are you gonna do with that?
Teacher.
No. Cheater, pumpkin eater. Why we gotta teach? How come y'all can't teach?
Well, she a virgin. How she gonna know?
Exactly. That's what
he teacher.
But that was the arranged marriage.
But he saw her. They got a chance to talk. When you talking about these other arranged marriages, they don't get to say nothing till they get ready to get married.
Because I asked the girl, I went to go in therapy, so I asked her Indian. I said, you Muslim? She said, you Indian. She said, she's in arranged marriage. So their thing is about pulling in and her in-laws. See, they come over here, and she said, "Oh, sucks."
To me, most arranged marriages is about the wealth of the family
and the family. But the part is, do we put too much emphasis, like I said, about in our culture, and we have one? Do we put too much emphasis on love and sex and physicality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I'm asking, is it that important? I'm being
yes,
nice.
It is. Yes, it is.
Why is that?
Because who want to wake up to somebody else to wake up to every
day?
we
are sexist people. We are sexist.
So we sexual.
We are sexual people. Right. So guess what? That plays a major part.
So why we gotta only have one woman for the rest of our life?
Well, let me ask you this question. Wait a minute. In defense of women, in defense of women, you as a man, could you allow your woman to have more than one man?
That's impossible.
No, it's not. I didn't answer that question. You don't.
Why do you think that's impossible?
One thing is, okay, let's go back to this Viagra. You know they're coming out with a female Viagra, right?
My question.
No, physiology.
Stop for a second.
You cannot discount physiology.
Mustafa.
You said that's
Bring
impossible.
it down for a
Why
second.
is that impossible?
My question to you, could you allow your woman to have more than one man?
I got a roster, so it's okay with me.
You say it's okay with you? You just said that a little low.
Mustafa, you look me in the eyes and you don't lie to me. Could you have your woman that you love and care about have more than one man? And knowing that she's having an intimate relationship with him?
That would be a no, because I love and care about her. Exclusivity. That's me. When we locked in.
So basically that's what I'm saying.
But if she wants to have other people, I have no control.
We shouldn't have to hem and haw about this, because I don't know too many men that it's okay for them to have extra women, but it ain't okay for their woman to have extra men.
Exactly. That's Neil. That's not truthful.
I'm just going to keep it a buck, as the young people say. Let's keep it a buck.
Keep it 100.
I agree with you.
There's a show called Seeking Sister Wife, but it was a flip side. Black lady on there had 2 husbands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes,
so I used to watch it when it was a man seeking a wife, but then she started seeking.
Exactly.
And she was ferocious. Like, she needed 2 husbands. Like, the poor man, she was ferocious. And one of the husbands, and I think she was on husband number 3 she was bringing into the relationship. She had 2, she was bringing 3. In my mind, I'm thinking, that's a lot. That's a lot. But her husbands were okay with that. They felt like she needed it because she just needed all this attention and everything else she was getting. They were I feel like right now times are turning, times are changing, and there are some people who are definitely open to having multiple partners, living these lives like that. And listen, if that's what you into, then that's what you into.
You like it, I love it.
That's right. It ain't a bad thing; it's a yo thing.
I learned that in New Jersey. I was like, "What are y'all talking about? If you like it, I love it."
Yep.
We want to tell you guys we appreciate y'all for listening to People Think About It. I mean, we got a little deep and got sometimes get a little off track sometimes.
Yeah, we was all over the place.
So, we just want you guys to keep listening. Subscribe to People Think About It. You can reach us at peoplethinkaboutit.com, at peoplethinkaboutit@gmail. You can go into our YouTube page, and we're visual now, so that's a great thing. Some of this episode you might not be able to see.
This part, right? This last part.
We're gonna be all right, but you're gonna be able to listen. So if you're Porsche and got a flat tire, Miss Hagler wants nothing to do with you.
You ain't got no teeth, right?
If you got no teeth,
you gummy, hell at that
there's some man that's looking for you.
I'm up the street.
And he gonna take you out on a date without your teeth and your hair.
And we ain't gonna do no golden steak.
We're not having no arranged marriages.
Negative.
But we all do this in love and fun, and just sit back and you decide whether if marriage is for you or it's not for you. And you can ask yourself, why did I get married?
Or why should I?
Or why should I get married? And we appreciate you guys listening to People Think About It.
You've been listening to People Think About It. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. A new episode drops every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you for listening.
Let's think about this.